Subscribe to Chaos Banshee or suffer the consequences.
Hello, I am 23 years old and my name is Millie. I was 20 at the time this happened. I just moved into my new house and found this weird looking doll in this box in the garage while I was setting down boxes of my stuff. I picked it up and stared at it. Then I took a picture of it and sent it to my friend, who replied, "Oh my god, what the F, you need to get rid of that." So I tried to sell it on eBay, but nobody would buy it, so I kept it in that box. Then one night I woke up to a slight sound of knocking. I knew it was the doll, so I got up and unlocked the garage door and opened yet to see the doll sitting there holding a screwdriver. I was creeped out. I picked it up and looked at it, then I texted my friend. It was 1:30 in the morning, I remember. My heart was beating fast. Then one of the boxes fell and I saw a black circle starting to rise behind the remaining boxes. It was a person. I ran for my life and locked the door. I went outside and stood outside the garage door. Then I heard giggling. They said, "Don't be afraid, Millie. Come inside, I know you're there." It was pitch black and there was a weirdo in my garage. What was I meant to do? Then, while I was holding the doll and dialing the police number, I felt a painful pierce through the palm of my hand where the doll's arm was, and when I looked, it was bleeding. I ran to my neighbor's house and told them everything. They called the police and one of them helped me with my hand. The people who helped me were two girls who were roommates. They were very nice and I knew them very well. What I learned from that night is to be careful when buying a house next time in London, or really anywhere, and make sure I check the garages first. Was that guy watching me when I was first moving in and putting boxes in the garage? It sends chills down my spine just thinking about it. Okay guys, yesterday was probably one of the worst days I have ever endured, and it all started with a phone call at about 7 a.m. I picked up my phone to see who was calling so early, but since I didn't recognize the number, I just put it on silent and fell back asleep. When I woke up again 3 hours later, I saw that I had 12 missed calls and 8 voicemails. Panic started to set in as I thought something horrible had happened to a family member. As I looked at all the missed calls numbers though, I realized that I didn't know who any of them were. I thought that was really strange, since if something bad happened to a family member, I should at least recognize one of the numbers. Then things only got weirder as I heard the first voicemail. "Hi, I was just giving a call for the house you had for sale. I saw the Craigslist ad and was hoping to figure out a time I could be given a walkthrough. Just give me a call back at redacted. Thanks." I figured that was just a wrong number and played the next voicemail. "Yeah, hi, I was calling about the house for sale on Craigslist. If you could give me a call back at redacted, I'd really like to know some more about those murders before I take a walkthrough. Thanks and have a nice day." After hearing the second voicemail, I was really starting to wonder what the hell was going on. The other 6 voicemails were all pretty much the same, inquiring about setting up a walkthrough and wanting to know about the murders. After I finished listening to the last one, I needed to find out what the hell was going on. I called the last number to leave a voicemail and a woman answered. When I asked her about the house she was calling about, she said there was an ad on Craigslist offering a house for dirt cheap, but it was only so cheap because the post said that a couple had been murdered in the house. I asked her if she could text me the link and she assured me that she would. About 2 minutes later my phone buzzed and I saw her number pop up on its screen. I had no idea what was in store for me by clicking on that link. When the web page opened, the coldest chill I have ever felt shot down my spine. What I saw was a picture of my house on Craigslist for sale ad. What made it worse was that the pictures had been taken within the last week. You could see the pumpkin that I carved last weekend. Then I read the posting description. "I have this sweet little home that I am putting up for sale. It is located in the town of Redacted, just a hop, skip, and a jump away from the city. Enjoy all the seclusion and privacy this house will bring you. My asking price is $25,000. Disclosure: there is a reason I am asking basically nothing for this house. The precious couple who lived there, a young man and woman, were murdered in the house a year ago. I figured I would get it out in the open now so that I'm only contacted by people who are not bothered by this. Don't let this mishap dissuade you though. The neighborhood is very safe, I promise. You can call. My number was listed. I look forward to hearing from you soon. I felt like I had been socked in the gut. What the F was going on? How did they know my number, my name? I immediately called my girlfriend over to see. I could see the horror set in on her face as she looked at the ad. I didn't think I could feel any worse until she pointed out how our car was in the picture. We were in the house when someone took these pictures. I immediately called the police to figure out what to do. They informed me that I should immediately contact Craigslist to remove the posting. Other than that, there was really nothing else they could do at the moment. The only crime that had technically been committed would be trespassing, but since whoever took the pictures wasn't on our property anymore, they couldn't do anything else. This happened about 6 months ago. I was 16 at the time, and my dad wouldn't be off until around 4 a.m. I was sitting on my bed watching TV, and I suddenly heard this thud from downstairs. I went downstairs to check it out, but didn't find anything. I went back upstairs and continued watching TV. I heard it again, but it was louder and clearer. I crept downstairs, being as quiet as possible, to hopefully see what it was, and clear as day, there he was. A man that was about 6 feet tall, had long, dirty, shoulder-length hair, had a beard, and wore a tattered, old-looking leather jacket and some cheap, dirty jeans. As I saw him, he noticed me and gave me this crazed look, eyes wider than anything I've seen, and a creepy, crazed smile. He eventually ran after me, and I ran from him up the stairs. I tried to shut my door on him, but as I was shutting it, he pushed on it to keep it open and tried to get in. He stuck his hand through the door to block from shutting it. All I could think of was to punch it repeatedly, and eventually end up biting it. And after that, he pulled his arm back, and I shut the door and locked it. He tried to kick it down. I hid in my closet and called the police. I stayed on the line with the operator while he continued to beat down my door. He eventually got in, and after a couple minutes of what I assumed was him searching for me, tried to open the closet door. As he started trying to open the door, I held the knob, preventing him from getting in again. Fortunately, as that started happening, I heard the ever so relieving sound of sirens. As soon as he heard them, he stopped trying to get in and ran out my door. I waited until I knew he was out of the room, then I ran out as well and ran outside to the police. I told them he was still in there. They went in there drawing their pistols and eventually came out with the man in cuffs. He gave me this cold look of death as he was put into the police car. I thanked the police and they took him to jail. I waited for my dad to get off and I told him the whole story. Since then, my dad got an alarm system installed. To this day, I still jump whenever I hear a sudden thud. I know you get a ton of stories through your email, but I think you're going to want to hear this. First off, I am an 18-year-old guy and I weigh 260 pounds. I live in New Mexico and there isn't much to do here in this dry, desolate place. On the weekends, me and my friends usually go out in the desert where we can mess with our cars and later act like we didn't do anything when telling our parents about what happened to the bumper. Well, this was about 3 weeks ago, and to this day I do not know who those people were. Me and my friends are in the same situation as we always are. What do we do tonight? We immediately thought of our favorite desert spot, so we loaded up and went. When we pulled up, I noticed that there were a pair of headlights that were perched up on a hill nearby. They quickly shut off as they saw us pulling in. That kind of made me nervous, thinking they were police officers. By the way, yes, we had a few beers. I didn't let paranoia get to me, and I brushed it off like nothing. We stayed in our spot until about 1 a.m. when we felt it was necessary to put our fire out and call it a night. My friend drove us back to his house where we got in our cars and pulled away. I live in the opposite direction of my friends, down a long road with no street lamps. On the way home, I had noticed that there was a car tailing me without its lights on. I then suspected them to be a police car running my plates or something. When I turned down my street and they followed me, my head was sending red flags all over. I pulled into my house and the car slowly passed. After they did, I walked inside and turned my porch light off. Not even 5 minutes later, I see the car sneakily rolling in front of the house without its lights on. I watched them for a while, but no one got out. I watched them for a while longer before hunger got my best interest. I turned the light on and poured me some cereal, almost forgetting about the whole car thing. The way my house is designed, you can see the dining room, and to the right is the entryway where the front door that leads to the hallway, and where my parents' bedroom is. Across the house, I was eating my cereal and browsing Instagram when I heard a bang at the back door behind me. I quickly turned, and to my surprise, it was nothing. I got up and went to peek out the glass door. While I was looking out the window, I heard footsteps going down the hallway. I figured it to be my mom or something, but as I turned to look for my mom, I saw a tall man come from the hallway and into the entryway. He stared at me, and as soon as he realized I was looking, he ran as fast as he could to the front door and ran away. I chased him, all while screaming for my dad to come and help me get this guy. I have a pretty decent sized driveway, but when I got outside, the car nor the people inside it were anywhere to be seen. We called the cops and did a police report, but ever since that day, we've always wondered what those men's intentions were.